welcome to Little Things. I don't know about you guys, but I've been seeing those clay puff flower mirrors all over my Instagram and Pinterest, and this is the post that got me inspired. I just thought it would be such a cute room decor, so I made a crochet version. And you can make it a keychain if you want, or just like a puff flower, and you can like decorate other stuff on your room. This tutorial is beginner friendly as usual. I go over all the steps super slowly and detailed. However, the stitch that I'm going to be using for the puff flower might be a little bit advanced for absolute beginners. So if you have zero experience or just started crocheting, I highly recommend this online learning platform to learn all the crochet basic skills before going to today's video. So this actually brings me to today's sponsor, which is Skillshare. I'm such a big fan of Skillshare because with Skillshare, all the classes are so structured and they provide literally everything you need to know to learn a new skill. This crochet basic class here, created by Tony Lipsy, which is my favorite because she brings you through everything you need to know about crocheting, from choosing the right yarn, hook, supplies, and all the basic stitches. The best thing about this is that you could share your projects with all other members and get feedback. Skillshare also have classes like social media, music such as piano, guitar, Photoshop, productivity, programming, and so many more. I recently took a class about selling on Etsy because I'm planning on selling my patterns on Etsy. I absolutely loved it. It was so insightful and I learned so much about the e-commerce world. By the way, the first 500 people to use my link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So let's join Skillshare with me. So back to the tutorial, let's talk about the materials you need for the puff flower mirror. So for the materials, I'll be using 5-ply milk cotton yarn with the color pink and white, 3mm hook, darning needles, scissors, glue, and you can use any size mirror. So first we're going to be making the flower petals first. This pom-pom in the middle is an add-on, which means we're gonna finish making the flower itself first and then at the center. So first we're going to start off with the color of the flower petals. So to start off, we're doing a magic ring. We're going to grab the yarn with our right hand, and then for our left hand, I'm pointing up 2 fingers, and then we're gonna wrap the yarn around our 2 fingers twice. So we're gonna put the yarn on top of our 2 fingers, and then we're gonna go under our 2 fingers, and then we're gonna go on top again. So as you can see, here is the parallel line, and then when we look at the bottom, we're gonna place the end of the yarn to the palm of our hand and then hold it with our thumb. And then for the working yarn here, I'm just gonna grab it with my ring finger and pinky. As you can see, there's a cross at the bottom and then there's a parallel line on the top. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna insert our hook under the first loop, and then we're gonna grab the loop that's closer to us, and then we're going to pull it through the first loop like this. And then now we're gonna twist our hook 180 degrees clockwise. So we're just gonna twist it like this. And then now we're gonna grab the working yarn. So as you can see, the working yarn is where I'm holding with my ring finger and pinky, which is coming up from here. So I'm just gonna go under and then over it. So grab it like this. And then I'm just gonna pull it through the loop on my hook. Here is our magic ring. So I just want the magic ring to be a little bit tighter, so I'm just going to pull it really tight. To adjust the size of the magic ring, we're going to pull this tail, and then we're going to make it a little bit smaller like this. So to adjust this loop on our hook, if your loop is super loose, we're gonna pull this working yarn. To adjust the size of the loop, we just want it to be not too tight and not too loose. So the way I'm holding the yarn, I'm just placing the yarn on top of my fingers, and then I'm just gonna hold it with my ring finger and pinky. And then, so I'm gonna wrap the yarn around my index finger and then hold my piece with my middle finger and thumb. And then the way I'm holding the hook is just like how I'm writing, but I just like to use my middle finger and I just kind of hold onto the loops on my hook. So let's start making the stitches. So first we're gonna make 10 single crochet into this magic ring. So first we're gonna insert our hook into the magic ring like this. Now as you can see, the tail is also caught on my hook as well. So after inserting our hook, we're gonna yarn over. To yarn over, we bring our hook to the back of the yarn and then on top. So you grab it from above and then you're gonna pull it through the magic ring and then bring up a loop. Now we have 2 loops on our hook, so we just yarn over and then pull through the 2 loops on our hook. And this is our first single crochet. So we're gonna make 9 more of these to have a total of 10. So we're gonna insert a hook into the magic ring and as well as the tail. And then we're gonna yarn over. To yarn over, we bring our hook to the back and then to the top of the yarn. And then we pull it through the magic ring. Now we have 2 loops on our hook. And then we yarn over. And then we're gonna pull it through these 2 loops on our hook. So the first one, and then the second one. And then we're gonna repeat this again, insert our hook into the magic ring. And then we're going to yarn over. And then we're gonna pull it through the magic ring to bring up a loop. Now we have 2 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over and then pull through the 2 loops on our hook. So the first loop and then the second loop. And then now we're gonna make our 4th one. Same thing, we're gonna insert our hook into the magic ring, yarn over. Now we've grabbed our working yarn, so we're gonna pull it through the magic ring. And that would bring up a loop. Now we have 2 loops on our hook. And now we're gonna yarn over. And then we're gonna pull it through these 2 loops on our hook. Like these. And now we're gonna work on our 5th one. So insert our hook into the magic ring, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now we have 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, and then pull through the rest of the 2 loops on our hook. Like this. And as you can see, if you look at your stitches from the top, there is a bunch of V's, and each V represents each stitch. So if you have 5 V's, that means you have 5 stitches. So that's how you count the stitches. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're gonna make 5 more single crochet and then I'll meet you there. So I've finished 10 single crochet, and now as you can see, there's a big gap in the middle. We're gonna pull this tail right here, and then that's gonna close up the gap. And now to make a circle, we're gonna join to our first stitch like this. To complete the whole circle is our last stitch, and the one on our left is our first stitch. As you can see, the V on our left here is our first stitch. So what we're gonna do is that we're going to join to it. So we're gonna insert it into the V. Yours shouldn't look like this tight because that's just my habit of making everything so tight. But yeah, so as you can see, I've gone through a V, basically both loops, and then after that we're going to yarn over, and then I'm just gonna pull it through the first stitch. And then if your stitches are tight, I find twisting your hook really helps. But if your stitches are pretty loose, then like it's pretty easy to just pull it through right away. So as you can see, the loop on my left here is the loop that I just pulled up, and the loop on our right is the loop on our hook. So we're gonna use the loop on our left to pull through the loop on our right. So we're gonna pull it through like this, and then as you can see, this creates a V. We don't want that to be mistaken as a stitch, so we're gonna really pull it super tight so the V is like a tiny knot. So as you can see, it's shrunk a lot as soon as it's tiny now. And then after that, we're going to start round 2. And the round 2 is making the flower petals. And as you can see, it's very puffy. Like it's so like 3D. Petal is going to be this tall. We're going to give the height to the flower petals. First, we're going to chain 4. So to chain, we're going to yarn over. So bring the hook on top of the yarn, and then we're gonna pull it through the loop on our hook to make a chain. So after this is one chain. As you can see, there's a V here. The second chain, we yarn over, pull it through the loop on our hook, and that's our second V. And then again, yarn over, and then pull it through the loop on our hook. And this is our third chain, and to do the last one we do the same thing, yarn over, pull through the loop on our hook. So this is our chain 4, and this is going to give the height to the flower petal. And now we're going to create the depth, the 3D shape. So first we're going to make 3 unfinished double crochet into the stitch. When we're inserting the hook later, we're going to go through this stitch right here, which is where the chain is attached to. We're basically going into this stitch right here. So yeah, now we're gonna make 3 unfinished double crochet. First, we yarn over before inserting our hook. And then now we're going to insert our hook into exactly where I pointed to you guys just now, which is like here. And then we just like poke it through. And then now we're gonna yarn over. So grab the yarn like this, and then we're gonna pull it through the stitch. So after pulling it through, as you can see, the chain is like all squashed up, and we definitely don't want that. Now we need to pull our hook towards this direction. So like this, so we would make a really long loop. We want the loop to be the same height as our chain 4. So the chain 4 is also for like measuring. And if your loop looks like this is not quite right. We just need to pull it a little bit to make it like the same height. And this step is so important because if not, your flower petal is gonna look really like not puffy. After that, we're going to yarn over. And then we're only gonna pull through the first 2 loops on our hook. So only these 2 loops. And then now this is our first unfinished double crochet. So for the second one, we yarn over, and then we're going exactly into the same stitch. A little trick here is to pull these parts like really tight. It's gonna get in your way if you do it like really loose, but if you pull everything so tight, then it's not gonna get in your way. So pull it, and then we're gonna insert a hook into the exact same stitch here. So we just poke it through, and now we yarn over, and then we pull it through the stitch. And then again, it's all squashed up, and we don't want that. We need it to be a little bit bigger, to be as tall as the chain 4. So I think this is about right. So we're gonna yarn over, and then we're gonna just pull through the first 2 loops on our hook. So I'm gonna pull through the first 2 like this. And then as you can see, we have already made 2 unfinished double crochet. And then we're gonna do our third one. So first yarn over, and then we're gonna insert our hook into the stitch, the same stitch basically. And then we're gonna yarn over, and then pull it through the loop, and again pull up and kind of measure it first to make sure it's all like the same height. Yarn over, pull it through the first 2 loops, this, and here is our first 3 unfinished double crochet. So this is our half of our flower petal, and we're gonna make 3 other unfinished double crochet in the following stitch. So for the next V here, which is this one, is our next stitch. To continue, we literally just go like the same thing, yarn over. This time we're gonna insert it into the next following stitch. So we just go into it. As you can see, I'm going through both loops as the whole V is on top of my hook. We're going to yarn over, and then pull up a loop. Now it's all squashed up again, so we pull it up a really tall loop, just like the chain 4. Now yarn over, only pull through the first 2, and this might be a little bit difficult since we have a lot of loops on our hook, but use your right middle finger to like kind of hold onto all the loops, and then just pull it through the first 2, just like this. And there we go, that's our first unfinished double crochet. So yarn over, and then we're going to insert it into the same stitch. Remember to hold all your loops with your middle finger. Whenever like I'm moving my hook, I'm securing with my middle finger so my hook can move freely. And then also another thing is that if I go in front here and then go into the stitch, it's gonna be way easier, and the stitches are not going to get in your way. So this insert it, and then after that yarn over, pull it through, and then pull up a really big loop. And then I think this is a pretty good height, so I'm gonna yarn over and then pull through just the first 2 loops here, just like this. And then we're left with one more unfinished double crochet in the second stitch. So yarn over first and then insert it into the same stitch, yarn over, and then pull through. Again, we just kind of make a really big loop. And then we yarn over and then pull through the first 2 loops here. The first 2 loops, it's always the first 2 loops. And then now we have a total of 7 loops on our hook, and I know it's a little bit confusing, but trust me, it's kind of repetitive, so once you get the hang of it, it's really easy. So we're gonna yarn over, and then now we're going to pull through all 7 loops on our hook. Basically, just pull through all the loops on our hook, and really be patient with this because like 7 loops are a lot of loops. So after pulling it through, we're going to chain 4. So to chain 4, if you remember, we yarn over and pull it through the loop on our hook, like this. And then now we're gonna do it again. Yarn over, pull it through the loop on our hook, and then again, yarn over, pull it through the loop on our hook, and then the last chain to finish off chain 4, like this. And as you can see, you'll have 4 V's here. So as you can see, this part is out and I want it to be back to the center. So we're gonna do a slip stitch into the stitch that we just finished. It's basically this stitch. All the double crochet is coming from this stitch, this little hole. So I'm just gonna stick my hook into this and then yarn over and then pull it through the loop. Pull it through the stitch. We're gonna use the loop on our left to pull through the loop on our right. So I'm just gonna pull it through like this. And then remember to really tighten it. You'll have something that looks like this, and all we need to do is to stick our finger into the back of the flower petal and just kind of push it up. Like I'm literally sticking my whole finger like inside. And now it has a really nice puff shape. So now after slip stitching, we're going to chain 4 and repeat the process and make 4 other flower petals. So first chain 4, so yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook. Now we have a V, yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook, and then do our 3rd chain, and then our 4th chain. And then now we're going to be doing 3 unfinished double crochet into the next stitch, so here. So we're going to be placing 3 unfinished double crochet here, and this is the first half of the flower petals, and then this is the second half of the flower petal, which is also 3 unfinished double crochet. First we're going to do our first unfinished double crochet, so yarn over, so insert our hook into the next stitch, which is the next V. So we just stick it in there, and then we yarn over and then pull up a loop, and then as you can see, this is all scrunched up, so we need to pull it to make it the same height as the chain 4. And when it's the same height, we're going to yarn over and pull it through the first 2 loops on our hook, like this. And then now we're going to do our second one, so yarn over and then insert our hook into the same stitch, so yarn over and then pull up a loop and then yarn over again, and then pull through just the first 2 loops on the left, like this. And then let's finish our last unfinished double crochet in this stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and then measure it again, and then once it's like the same height, we yarn over and pull it through the first 2 loops on our hook. And now we have already 4 chains on the right and then followed by 3 unfinished double crochet. Now we're going to move on to the half of the flower petal. So for the following stitch, which is here, you kind of have to move the flower petal to see where the next stitch is. We're going to make also 3 unfinished double crochet in the next stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch here, which is the next V, and then yarn over and then pull up a loop and then pull a really big loop. Now it's the same height, and then we yarn over and then pull it through just the first 2 loops. And then we're going to make the second one, so yarn over and then insert our hook into the same exact stitch, and then yarn over and then pull up a loop just like this, and then yarn over and pull it through the first 2 loops. And I know it's a little bit hard because it's starting to have more loops, but it's okay, just do it very slowly and then remember to just pull through the first 2 loops. We're gonna do our last one, so yarn over and then insert our hook into the exact same stitch. It might be a little bit hard because there's so much on your hook, so yarn over and then pull up a really long loop, and then after that yarn over, pull through just the first 2 loops on the left like this. And then now we have 7 loops on our hook, so we're gonna go ahead and yarn over and pull through all of them. So we yarn over and then we're just gonna pull through all loops on our hook just like this. And then now we're going to chain 4 and then slip stitch back into the center of the flower. So we're gonna yarn over and then pull it through the loop on our hook. So that's our chain 1. We're gonna repeat 3 more times. So our chain 2 and then yarn over, pull through. That's our chain 3, and then lastly chain 4. So like this. And then now we're gonna attach it back into the center of the flower. I'm gonna use my ring finger to kind of like pull this away to get it out of the way because it's so big. This is where the stitches are coming from, so we're just gonna insert this here, and then we're gonna do a slip stitch. So yarn over and then pull it through, and then the loop on our left here is the loop that we're gonna pull it through the loop on our right. After that we're going to tighten it, and then after tightening it we're gonna use our finger to like kind of like make it more 3D. So we basically will repeat this 3 more times. I'll just show you guys one more time. So after slip stitching we're going to do 4 chains. So yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook, yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook for 4 times. This is our second time, and then our third time, and then our 4th time. So now we're going to make 3 unfinished double crochet in the next stitch. So we yarn over, and then the next stitch is the next V, which is here. We're just going to insert it into the stitch, and I'm going through a V. And then now we're going to yarn over, pull it through, pull it up, and the loop should be as tall as the chain 4. So for every stitch you really have to measure it like this to get consistent stitches. Yarn over and then pull through the first 2 loops. And then we're going to do it again, yarn over, and then insert it back into the same stitch, and yarn over, pull it, and then kind of measure it, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. And then we have 1 more left to go for this stitch, and then we'll be finished for the first half of the flower petal. And then yarn over, and then pull a really big loop. Now yarn over, pull it through the first 2 loops of the hook, and then now we have 3 unfinished double crochet plus a chain 4. Pull the flower petal to the right to see this one is the next stitch. So we're gonna finish our half flower petal. So yarn over and then insert a hook into the next stitch, and then yarn over and pull up a loop like this, and yarn over and pull it through the first 2 loops on our hook. And then now we're gonna do 2 more. So yarn over and then insert a hook into the exact same stitch. And if you can't find the stitches, I really recommend going in really slowly. So again, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull it through the first 2 loops, just like this, and then one last time, yarn over, and then insert a hook into same stitch. It's a little bit messy and I struggle a lot, as you can see. So yarn over, and then pull up a loop again. So that would be our last stitch. So yarn over, and then pull through just the first 2 loops on the left, like this. Now we have 7 loops on our hook. We yarn over, and then we're gonna go ahead and pull through all 7 loops on our hook, just like this. And now we're going to connect back into the center, so we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So after that, we're going to slip stitch back into the same stitch, pull the flower petal using my right ring finger, and just pull it. And as you can see, this little hole here is where the stitches are coming from. I'm just gonna stick my hook into that, and then yarn over, and then pull up a loop. And now I'm gonna use the loop on my left to pull it through the loop on my right. And then after that, I'm gonna tighten it. And I have to make it 3D, so I just flip it back out, and then it will have this perfect like puff shape, and it's super cute. So I'm basically going to repeat this until I reach the end, and I have 5 flower petals in total. After the slip stitch, you'll be left with a knot here, like a loop here. So I'm just gonna pull it like a bigger loop and then just cut. And I just like to adjust it a little bit. So this is our flower petal, and honestly this can already be a flower. It's super cute and puffy. But if you want your flower to have a pom-pom in the center, then keep watching and we're gonna make this now. So now we're gonna be moving on to making the pom-pom in the middle. I really want to make it a yellow pom-pom. First, we're gonna start with a slip knot. So I'm gonna grab the yarn with my right hand, and then with my left hand, I'm pointing up 2 fingers. I'm just gonna grab the yarn like this, and then I'm gonna twist it once like this, and then now I have the tail on my right and then a loop on my left. And now I'm gonna pull this tail through the loop on my left hand. So I'm gonna grab it with my thumb and middle finger on my left hand, and then hold the tail on my right hand. And I'm also gonna pull the working yarn as well. So I'm just gonna pull it both sides. There you go, that's a slip knot. So to adjust the size of the slip knot, we're gonna pull this tail. I'm just gonna pull it a little bit smaller. I'm gonna insert my hook into this loop. If your loop looks like this, and you can just go ahead and pull the tail. And we want our loop to be a little bit looser, so if you have a gap like this, that would be perfect for this project. Now we're gonna start chaining. If you remember how to chain, it's yarn over, and then we're gonna pull it through the loop on our hook. So we just pull it through like this, and we'll see a V, and that's our first chain. And we need to chain 3 in total. So we're gonna chain 2 again. So yarn over, and then pull it through the loop on our hook, just like this. And then our third chain, yarn over, pull it through the loop on your hook, just like this. Now we're gonna do 3 unfinished double crochet. So first we're gonna yarn over before inserting our hook, and then we're gonna insert our hook into the first chain. And then now we're going to yarn over again, and then we're gonna pull it through the chain. And as you can see, it's all scrunched up, so we need to pull it. It will match the height of the chain. After that, I'm going to yarn over and then pull it through the first 2 loops on our hook, which is the left 2. Like this. We're going to yarn over and then insert it into the first chain. And then yarn over and then pull up a loop. And then we need to pull pull it. So we need to pull the loop until it's the same height as the chain. So now we have 4 loops. We're only gonna pull through the first 2 loops. So we yarn over and then pull through the left 2 loops. Just like this. We're up to the last one. So yarn over, insert our hook into the first chain. So we just insert it and then yarn over and then pull through. Now we have a loop on our hook. We just need to pull it till it's the same height as the other stitches, and then again yarn over and then pull through the first 2. So now we have 4 loops on our hook. We just need to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on our hook. So yarn over and then pull through all 4 loops, and then now we're gonna chain 2. So chain 1, this, and then chain 2, yarn over and then pull through the loop on our hook. And now we're gonna connect it to the center. So the center is our chain 1, so the big hole right here. So that's a reason why we shouldn't do our first chain super tight. We're gonna insert our hook into that hole, into the very first chain, and then yarn over, and then pull through. And then we're gonna do a slip stitch, so we're gonna pull it through the loop on our hook as well, and then tighten it. Really tighten it. And then after that, I'm gonna pull a big tail. And then I'm just gonna fix it a little bit. So right now you should have a little ball that looks like this. So now let's attach it to the flower. So I'm gonna grab my flower, and the pom-pom is supposed to be sitting right in the middle of the flower. I'm gonna thread one of the ends to the darning needle. I'm just gonna insert my darning needle right into anywhere on this circle. So I'm just gonna stick it like just anywhere, just like here maybe. It doesn't really matter. And then pull it through, and then just place it nicely in the center of the flower. And as you can see, there is another tail, and I'm just gonna thread it through the darning needle as well. So this time you have to be aware of where you're sticking your needle into. This tail right here is coming up from here. So I'm just gonna go directly underneath this and then poke it through. So the pom-pom wouldn't go misplaced. If I stick my needle into here where it's obviously not supposed to be, like as you can see, it's gonna go really weird because like it's not supposed to go that way. Place it nicely again. So this tail is sticking out from here, so right underneath it would be right here. So we're just going to stick it here. Now we're gonna face the back of the flower. As you can see, these 2 yellow tails here, I'm just gonna tie a knot there. So just a normal knot. If you're like making it a keychain or something, it's better if you glue it right here, right, and then you can just like stick it there. But for me, it's fine if I just tie a knot at the back. So the 2 pink tail here, I'm also going to tie a knot. Now after tying knots, then I'll just go ahead and cut them all. So I'm just grabbing 4 of the tails, and then I'm just gonna cut them. Since I'm just sticking it onto the mirror, like the tails don't really matter. If you're making it a keychain, it's good if you make another one. You can just stick it like back to back like this, so you won't see the end. So yeah, this is how I make my puff flower, and you can use it however you want. Personally, I really like sticking on my mirror. So yeah, let me show you how I do it. So I've made 15 of the puff flowers, and now let's stick them onto the mirror. So for my mirror, I just need 15 of them, but for yours it might be different, so you just have to measure them accordingly. So before sticking, I just like to place them all onto the mirror first. I'm just gonna stick them one by one with the glue. I'm just gonna add glue in the center of the flower. So yeah, here is our finished product, and it looks super cute. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and remember to take a photo of your end product and post it on your Instagram and tag me, and I would really love to see you guys' work. Remember to subscribe. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys next time. Bye!